The McElroy brothers are not experts, and their advice should never be followed. Travis insists he's a sexpert, but if there's a degree on his wall, I haven't seen it. Also, this show isn't for kids, which I mention only so the babies out there will know how cool they are for listening. What's up, you cool baby?
It's familiar, but not too familiar, but not too not familiar. It's a new craze. Hey, good girls, do you wanna just say, hey, I wanna? Just say, hey, I wanna.
Guys,
What?
are you guys there?
Yes, we're here.
This is it. This is the show. Did you hear the news?
What's that?
What's the news?
I don't know how it happened because science hasn't explained it yet. But Al Roker can see into the future.
What?
He is a prognosticator. He is a god among men. He's a modern day Nostradamus, except with more fluctuating weight patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He can see into the future. He's like,
What are you, Griffin? What are you basing this off?
he's
of?
like the living version of the almanac book from Back to the Future, because you know
According
the
to
Living.
what?
He's like the living, eating version of the almanac.
if the book
from
was a
Back to the
man.
Future.
It's like he's eating Back to the Future.
So, we you watch the. Have you guys watched the Today Show lately? I know you
Yeah.
have.
I'm there every day. I turn it on at 6 a.m. I'm like, Hoda, Kathy Lee, I'll check you soon. But right now, I'm Lowers.
Yeah,
I'm all Lowers.
Lauer
Yeah.
is putting some flavor.
You know what I call them? You know what I call them? I call them Lauer hours.
Yeah.
Those are my Lauer hours.
Those are your Lauer hours when you when you play Roker poker, which is when you masturbate while watching Al Roker. So anyway, while you're there, you're playing Roker poker. He tells you what's gonna happen at the Olympics that day. He knows it. He knows it. He saw it.
If there was any market for betting on the Olympics, this man would be rich.
He has-
beyond his
he
wildest
has-
dreams.
Hey, people, why haven't bookies stepped up and worked out, I don't know, some kind of gambling on the Olympics or something?
He
Come on, people.
possesses the sight. And I it's not very handy except for every even numbered year, I guess. But it's
Yeah.
better than nothing. I don't have the sight for shit.
And and honestly, let's be honest, about half of those are some games that nobody really cares about.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you know why you don't care about the Winter Olympics? Because you don't get to see all the heavenly bodies.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the problem with the Winter Olympics is everybody's so frumpy.
Yeah, it's like,
you
hey,
know? It's
hey, curling, let's see that. Let's see those glutes. Get them out. I don't want to. It's not for sex. I just want to admire the glutes.
Yeah, it's not a sexual thing.
It's not a sexual thing at all. I promise you. I just appreciate a good muscle, and you got two of them down there. So let's peep those.
Let's get
Yeah.
that out.
I was playing Roker poker, and now these glutes are in front of me. But fuck it, let's keep it going.
I'm really enjoying the coverage that shows me the workout routines of the Olympic athletes, because I can't be motivated to do regular exercise, and now you're going to rub it in my face what the world's most physically fit people are doing, as if I'm going to go to that level. That's what I'm going to do.
I enjoy the coverage that they're doing where they show things that happened at previous Olympics that were just like huge and epic, like Carrie Strug, landing her vault and everything, and like amazing moments, and then comparing the current Olympians to them. So not only do I get to feel the pressure of being compared to the current Olympians, but then
Right.
they also get to feel bad because they're not as cool as people that competed 12 years ago.
It really is horseshit. Like, you can't show the miracle on ice and then cut over to that badminton game that the South Korean team
Yeah.
threw. Like, you can't go from miracle on ice to, like, the with a shuttlecock, which is...
Did anybody else know that there was a badminton world federation?
Yeah.
Does that
It's
blow
one
anyone
guy.
else's mind?
It's one guy who's never had to do anything in his life, and they came to him like, "Listen, this is the most important decision you'll ever make in your entire life."
And he looked up from his bowl of ramen noodles and was like,
And he said,
I don't know.
He said, "Listen to the words I'm about to say, because they're going to be very important. This sport is kids play horse shit. We call the thing you hit a shuttlecock because of how fucking stupid it is. You can't expect me to take it seriously because nobody else is going to. It's called badminton. Like, nobody fucking cares. It sucks."
Do you think there was any kind of convincing that had to happen to get them to throw the games, or do you think it was like, I need you to? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, we want you to
You
not
didn't even hear my pitch. No, I don't care.
Here's what we want you to do. We want you to not play badminton. I'm afforded that option every day, and you know what? I jump at it.
What do you get? What kind of sponsorships are you hoping to land if you gold in badminton?
Oh man, you get the the Flyleaf. They make the best shuttlecocks. They're very aerodynamic. They actually had to outlaw them in this because last year everybody was breaking all the badminton world records because
Badminton so far.
And then one time somebody hit a shuttlecock so hard it went through a guy. It just went through his chest, and they had to cancel Flyleaf shuttlecocks.
And it didn't kill him. It buried halfway through. He still lives with it to this day.
Yeah,
it's really horrifying.
it powers a mechanical
He's become
suit.
a bit of a mascot, actually.
His friends make him lie on the floor, and they put Cheetos in it.
And then if he sneezes real hard, they all fly out, and it's a great game for everyone.
Do you guys think
it's a
that
good game.
right after the Olympics, all the Olympians get together and just have like a fucking Cheetos jamboree? Like they're like, fuck it, we're done. Michael Phelps is done. He's won
and
22.
it devolves into an orgy.
He's
right?
won 22
Just some
Olympic
orange dust.
22 Olympic medals, and he said he's never competing again. That dude has got to be on a fucking combos spree right now. He's got to be filling those bugles with that whiz, and he has got to be living right.
Travis pointed out, but I do have to ask. It's got to just turn into an orgy,
Right?
my God.
Usually, right? You have a city full of the most like physically fit humans in the world, and you've got them in cramped quarters, like.
And they're all riding like the highest like testosterone,
Yeah,
and
right. You got the drama.
they're all coming down off like the highest endorphin high of like competing and winning in front of like an international like landscape. It's got to be like, okay, so it's time to fuck.
When you have 22 pieces of precious metal hanging around your neck, and you're out on the town in London surrounded by attractive people, like when you have that much décolletage, like all you're thinking about is like, I know I'm getting fucked tonight. Michael Phelps is getting fucked tonight.
Michael Phelps.
There's a 1 in 22 chance.
Yeah.
that I'm getting boned tonight.
Yeah, and Michael Phelps will fuck any. If you slow to a trot in front of Michael Phelps, he will fuck you. Like he does. He
And
takes
don't
no
jump in the
prisoners.
water thinking that it's like hornets.
Yeah.
He's gonna get you in the water.
He's gonna get you in the water.
He is not machine gun fire. He can get you up
No.
in there.
He will get you up in the water, and I do want to be clear: it will be consensual. If you get within a few feet of him, the way his pheromones mixed with chlorine is utterly intoxicating. At least that's what I told
You
my
see
wife.
him-
Web fingers attached to his 10-foot long arms
You
will caress
right.
your cheek in such a way that you can't say no.
You see him coming down the street with his medal, and you say, oh, it's just one medal. But then they fan out like the acid-spitting dinosaur from Jurassic Park, all 22 of them just sort of fan
And you
out.
swoon.
And you swoon. And then you poon.
Now, I do want to warn you about Michael Phelps. He's been training so hard that he has lost the use of the English language. So he will look directly in your eyes and say, "Sharks, sharks, inside, Phelps, inside. Please take Phelps inside. No more water.
Sorry, Phelps, clammy skin.
It's dry up here.
Phelps cold. Can you keep Phelps warm?
To be fair, Phelps does love chunk.
Yeah, sure. This feels good on Phelps' tummy fin. That's what his penis has to be for him, right? Just another piece of drag, right? Another thing to shave a few hundreds off the old time.
Phelps is smooth down there like G.I. Joe.
We can all agree that Phelps is probably a more tender lover than Ryan Lochte, right?
I think
I mean,
so.
we
Ryan
can all
Lochte.
agree.
Ryan Lochte is high on the winning. Michael Phelps has been through this before. He knows how it ends.
He wants you to win.
He wants you to win now, Ryan. It's your time to shine.
No, he wants you to win sexually. Not
Oh,
Ryan.
sexually, he
Doesn't
wants
like
you to
Ryan.
take home. He wants you to take home the sexual gold. Hey, this is my brother, and me. It's an advice show from the modern era. I'm your oldest brother, Justin McElroy.
I'm your middleest brother, Travis McElroy.
I'm your baby brother, Griffin McElroy. That was the longest lead-in I think we've ever... That was 10 advice-free minutes for the folks at home.
Yeah.
And now I want to
Guaranteed.
record an R&B album called Sexual Gold.
Can we sing the whole... Oh, baby... Oh,
It's a complete spoken word album. I'm Michael Phelps.
You know what? We've piddled enough. Let's get into the advice. I really want to take a swing dance class with my boyfriend, but he is vehemently opposed to the
You
idea.
mean vehemently?
I mean vehemently opposed to the idea. I'm sure it's because he's embarrassed or afraid to look stupid or uncoordinated in public. How can I convince him to get over his fear of looking silly and dance with me? And that's from Dancing by Myself.
Well, the good news is because it's swing dance, there's all but 2 people look uncoordinated doing it. And those 2 people are busy filming movies set in the 1940s.
right.
I have to warn you of something. Since the year, let's call it 1949, and every year past that, if you see 2 people swing dancing at a public event, everyone since 1949 has said the same thought. These fucking people.
Yeah.
That's what everybody thinks when you swing dancing from. Like, that would be my only problem with swing dancing classes. It might actually be kind of fun to take the
It
class.
probably would be super fun.
But you know, like, cherry poppin' daddies are going to come on at the
See,
wedding and
you
you're
have-
going to have a look.
You just touched on it. I feel... Jon Favreau has done a lot of things to help this country. But that fucking scene from Swingers is not one of them. I feel like that scene from fucking Swingers led an entire generation of people who saw the movie Swingers were like, I want that. If I dance good like that, then Heather Graham will like me. But she won't. She can't. You don't know her.
She doesn't have emotion.
Doesn't have emotions either.
I also think that my other problem with swing dancing is that no one has ever started swing dancing and anyone's thought, I bet they can just naturally do that.
No, that's the problem. They know you've been prepping to, like, impress them for a long time. And then it's like, oh, man.
You're
Guys.
going from, like, if you do that shit at a wedding or something like that, fuck you. Like, because it's their special day, not yours. And when you swing dance at a wedding, like, you're not just having fun, you're performing. This is a
Right.
show.
Unless you're in the hit musical Swing, you should not take swing dancing
Even
lessons.
then,
Now-
like, you can stand on the stage and be like, no, guys, it just feels a little pretentious.
Now we need to... Now we need to help the person.
Oh, okay.
This is me helping.
You're backing up the guy, though. The guy didn't write in.
Well, okay, well, let me say this. This is helpful advice to tell your boyfriend. The point of a class is for people who don't know how to do it to show up. Like, if his worry is looking stupid and uncoordinated and not being able to do the thing, that's why you go to a class.
That's a sweet, sweet, sweet world that you live in, Travis, but that is not the truth. You think
No.
that if somebody here's how it works, Travis, and this is a great example of this sort of scenario, like would be perfect for this happening, is somebody goes to a swing dancing class and they spend 2 years getting their swing dancing so right, and then they get out of swing dancing class and they're like, well, shit, now I have no place to swing dance. I know. I'll go back to the beginner level swing dancing class and make people think like I'm some sort of fucking zoot suit daddy prodigy.
Well, then that person should, like, test into Swing Dance 6. They shouldn't be back in Swing Dance 1 looking beginner Charlie, make him look
that
stupid.
person no longer wants to learn the art of the swing. They just want to get their...
Oh, now he's a swing hustler.
He's a fucking swing hustler. He just wants to get his rocks
He just
off.
wants to make swing bets and, like, I bet I can throw this girl between my legs and catch her. No way, dude. This is beginner swing. And then he does it and dude's out $20.
Right. Hey, I bet you can't swing. Oh, you're right. I don't swing very well. Do you want to have a swing off? And then it's like swing, hustle.
And then it's like, your wife is mine now.
God.
Oops.
And you see that more and more every day since Swingers came out.
It's
Suddenly, everybody's swinging. Everywhere.
Well,
No? Just me?
that's not exactly.
well, I mean,
like that,
swingers
but-
did come out like a year and a half ago tops. So it really is.
It's really still pretty hot.
Mm-hmm.
I am having a hard time with this because I don't think I myself would. It's just such an ostentatious thing to learn. That's my problem
Now,
with
here's
it,
the
I think.
thing. I was in a couple musicals in which I learned to swing dance. and it is incredibly fun. Like, there's a reason it looks fun, and it's because it is. But it's fun for you and your partner. It's not fun for anybody else. But fuck them. As long as they give you a wide enough circles that when you lift her up and she does that thing where she kicks backwards, she doesn't knock anyone out, you're good.
That's the real problem. Have you considered the legal ramifications of swing dancing?
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered how the first time you like your fluffy skirt like spins around and lacerates someone's retina?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you considered how you're going to deal with those?
When you
bills?
swing,
Or like when it picks you up and your skirt falls down and like, oh, there's her butt.
Yeah.
It's awkward.
Now, Travis, do you know what legal things are? Because that's not technically against the law.
Everyone can see her legal briefs.
yeah, sure, that's gross.
Okay.
When you swing dance with somebody, and they are the passive, the more passive person of the swing dance,
They're the sub.
the throwy, they are basically, you are turning them into fucking human nunchucks. And like, you're not ready for that kind of level of power or responsibility.
But no, have fun.
But have
Enjoy
fun.
yourself.
Really
But
enjoy
do
it.
have fun.
Um,
Really get up in there.
Do you guys want a Yahoo?
Yes,
I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
bad. We've never turned a question on somebody like that before. But I get if somebody wrote in and was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about like eating poison, but my boyfriend says not to," we would probably come down on the same side.
I guess
basically
where I'm,
like that. Dance floor
all I'm-
poison.
all I'm getting at, and this is sort of the more practical, side of this advice is that if it's not something that both of you are excited to do, there's like so many different things. I mean, there's so many other things to do.
And
If he's not excited about it, I mean, you could try to badger him into it, and you would win eventually. But is that
I mean,
worth
you could
the
always
trade?
do the trade-off of like,
it's-
I'll
yeah,
go to
right.
one of these classes with you, and then I'll go to
And I'll finally do that gross whipped cream thing that you wanted
Yeah.
me to do. Like,
It's
Yeah.
where you put the nozzle for the can of whipped cream like in your butt, and then you empty the entire can in there. You just shoot it
Right.
all up in there.
it's called a squeaky Greg.
Why does he want to give you a squeaky Greg? It's 2012. Those are illegal.
In most
not
states,
in
it's
every
illegal.
State, not in every state.
It's illegal to give. Well, that's part of the trip. He wants to whisk you away to Delaware, where squeaky Gregs are still street legal.
Oh, it's great.
It's only Delaware.
Baby, you've got to see the trees up there and we'll get some cider. You're gonna love it. Hey, pack the Ready Whip. Just pack the Ready Whip in case we like want to put it on the cider, or you know what? We can probably buy some cans there.
Yeah, and I do mean some cans.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
don't get it twisted. If there is only one can, we'll have to search out some old some old general stores or something. But hey, you know what? It'll be like antiquing.
Oh, it'll be.
You know how you always wanted to go antiquing? It'll be like that.
It'll be a lot like turning you into human cannoli. You're gonna love it. It's gonna. Thanks, Delaware. You guys want a Yahoo?
Yeah.
Cool. This one was sent in by Spummy or Spumy. Thank you, whichever two of those you like better. It's by Yahoo Answers user DS, who asks, "How to collect my scent for GF? I'm going off to college, and I want to give my girlfriend some of my pheromones to remember me by. I also want them to last. What is the best way to do this? I have two ideas. One, go on a run in an undershirt, then put the shirt in a bag and the freezer. I could do this multiple times. No, should I shower without antiperspirant before the run? 2, sleep in an undershirt for a couple of days. Presumably, I should shower before this, too. I'm extremely healthy in terms of diet and exercise, and I know my sweat should be pretty pure. Don't tell me I'm weird. I already know. Is purity a factor? Oh, this is 100% crystallized, pure.
I am so gross.
This
out
shit
right
will
now.
get you so high.
So what he's asking is, in what form should I scum up a T-shirt and give it to my girlfriend? Because nothing says I love you like handing over some dirty laundry.
Travis,
Hey guys, girls aren't weird like you are. They're not weird. There's no reality in which it's like, gosh, Darlene, I really enjoyed getting drinks with you and the girls, but right now I have to go home and smell my boyfriend's dirty shirt from the freezer.
It's 6 months old and you ran in it for 8 days and it's grown legs and it's walking around in the freezer.
what Let's see. I got some Skinny Cow up in here. I got some Ready Whip. Got a
Save that.
Got a really just a brown and yellow flannel that used to be a white shirt. It used to be a plain white shirt. Now it's a brown and yellow flannel because of his odors.
Why not just get a fucking necklace?
Well, because I
How about a necklace?
How
How
about
about,
a
a necklace there,
teddy
DiCaprio? How about you just do
or
that?
a locket,
How about
and you can
instead?
drip your juices into
No,
a file.
I'm trying to stay away from anything that
No,
comes from your body.
because we gotta keep your smell in the rotation somehow. So you gotta get some sort of phylactery, and you gotta.
Okay, so you're gonna want to get her a pillow case stuffed with your own hair.
How about just a pillow that you have slept on? Because like when you sleep on a pillow for long enough, that pillow is basically a small dead version of you, because it's covered in your cells and your smells. So just give that to her, and then she can have that. And then when you're off like fucking all kinds of college baddies, and you're developing new smells like incense, smells like
Swing dancing.
swing dancing, other college and books, then she'll have that to remember you by.
Hey, I have a message for this question asker. Listen, I've only known you for one Yahoo Answers question, but I'm pretty sure that she is planning on dumping you before you go. You are very weird.
Although it might be, it's a pretty good excuse as you hand her your gross sweaty T-shirt for her to be like, "Oh, this is exactly the window I've been looking for. You done?
Great, you're
burned.
done.
cut.
You're out. 3 strikes, you're out. It's actually 38 strikes. You're so weird.
Yeah.
Oh, what is this? It's a grocery bag with an old ass sweaty T-shirt in it. Okay, great. The door's over there. It's been fun.
It's cold out there. Do you want this back? Are you sure? Okay.
We've actually never dated.
Hey, real quick.
You sit behind me in math class, so thank you for the
I
shirt.
appreciate the shirt. Can you just run me through really quick? Why does it stink like shit?
Is this? I really like the iPod Nano you've given me. I was curious why it doesn't reek of your personal musk.
It's damp,
Could
though.
you fill
which
me?
is-
Yeah, it is damp, but it doesn't really reek of your yourself.
I am a woman, and this is a man's shirt. It does not appear to be new out the store, and it reeks like shit, like a man would smell. So if you could just like run me through really quick, I'm gonna miss you so much. Have fun at college.
Yes. I found college. Goodbye.
God, you guys are.
You know,
remember-
a lot of people don't know that Blue Cantrell hit him up style after exactly an incident like this.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend gave her a musk shirt, and then she went on a shopping spree.
Justin, have you ever worried that you have an inappropriate fascination with Blue Cantrell?
It's like
and her hit song,
every
Hit Above Style?
other episode we reference that fucking song.
You think so? Is it
I'm
is
just
it that?
saying, like, I wasn't gonna say anything, but you're in a safe place here, and we love you, and
Our
I just feel like you're.
I just think she's a talent.
Yeah, our key demographics, the the numbers we really push the ads on. This is a generation that does not know this song, I bet.
We could start
Oops.
referencing single ladies. That's a good one.
Would that be good?
He got a
Would that be
stank,
better?
He gave her a stank ass shirt, and he didn't put a ring on it.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm pretty sure that I think in this case, Irreplaceable would be a better.
Yeah.
To the left,
I
to the
know,
left.
It's so hard to say.
to
All
the
your
left.
fucking stinky shirts are in the garbage, and I set them on fire because they smelled so bad, and then they got burned, and now it's in my walls. You need to tear down all the wallpaper and put up new wallpaper because it smells like your body odor in the kitchen, which sucks because that's where I eat, baby.
Hey, I've had a crush on a girl for a few months now. I just asked her out yesterday. She said that she was flattered, but she doesn't think the relationship would be for her.
Oh.
That's a crazy excuse.
That
So
sounds
my question-
great, just not
so-
for me.
That sounds like a really weird, interesting arrangement. Just not sure it would be a great fit for me right now.
But I'll tell all
So
my
my-
friends.
So my question is, should I continue being her friend and pursue a relationship later, or just try to move on? We are in our early 20s.
You need to take
Crushed by the crush.
You need to take that microphone, and you need to turn it horizontally to the ground, and then you need to let it fall,
Because you out.
and then you need to put one fist in the air, and then you need to walk.
There
away.
was There was a piece of advice that Griffin used to give quite frequently, but I think it would be apropos in this case.
Don't wear silk on a Sunday.
Nope.
No, not that. Give the people what they want.
Fish and friends go bad.
Nope.
So eat them both quickly.
Nope.
Are you talking about like, pack your bags and move away?
Yeah, you do that
Yeah.
because you're done. You're out and you can't be here anymore.
When you say to a girl, "Hey, I think we should go out on a date," and she says, "That sounds great, just not for me. It's not really what I'm into right now." You pick up your bags and put on your hobo hat, and you shuffle on down the road to the next
I gotta
town.
say, that advice though is incongruous with the other advice which we've been giving out this year, which is get it in 20 days. This person took a shot, went for it, went up to this person, got it, didn't get it, but they shot for it. You know what I mean?
But
He didn't stick the landing. To continue on with the Olympic
You didn't
parlance,
stick
he
the
did
landing,
not stick
and
the
he
landing.
shouldn't have to fucking leave town because there are tons of reasons to pack your bags and move away, and I don't think this is one of them.
You're forgetting about, and this is sort of it's the dark side of 20 Does, right? Because as powerful as Get It in 20 Does is, it's sort of like whatever motherfucker first said live like you were dying or carpe diem or whatever.
YOLO. Can we work YOLO?
YOLO,
That's so much fun to
exactly.
say. I wish we could say it more on the podcast.
I know, right? But we can't.
I feel like this power's been tapped already. The YOLO power has been tapped. Not too late for Gangnam Style, but it's too late for YOLO,
Sure,
I think.
Okay.
But like the dark side of that is that you are not dying, and you are going to carpe other DMs.
Yeah.
And you do only live once, but you have to live the whole thing. You
can dance like nobody's watching, but guess what? People are fucking watching, and they're
People
saying,
are
"Look
still
at those
watching
fucking
you."
douchebags swing dancing."
I have an idea.
No day but today.
And then Tuesday.
Yes, Rent. That's accurate.
And then your dad's
except for
birthday.
Tuesday, and
Like,
I
and
have
then your
an
dad's
idea.
birthday, and then you and Janine are going out to the lake. Like, there's other days. There really
This is
are.
my suggestion. This is what people need to start doing. Carry around with you a tiny notepad and a tiny pencil. And if something like this happens again, and you ask a girl out and she says no, pull out the notepad and pencil and cross something off and say, "Thank you very much for your time." Then move to the next closest girl to you and ask her out. And then just continue on with the circle, marking people off your
now,
list.
Travis, this
That is actually metaphorically like how Travis got through college. That's basically just like that.
when you said that, did you think of that as soon as we read the question, and then you just sort of let it sit there in the chamber and wait for a time in which you could interject?
I actually let that bounce around for a while.
Yeah,
and it
I could
still
tell
came
that
out,
you let
know?
that one just percolate, and you really honed it down to a perfect diamondine point.
I don't see anything wrong with that because what it is it gives you
The
an out.
fucking dumbest thing ever to do that anyone's ever
because
done.
it gives you an out because suddenly you're not embarrassed because she was just next on the list to see what was up.
Yeah, except everyone's gonna think you're a fucking serial killer, dog.
Well, there is that. I'm not saying it's a perfect plan.
It's the farthest from that. It's the farthest
I'm
from
not
perfect.
saying it's a perfect plan.
It's a plan
It
of
has
garbage.
Some faults.
It's all faults.
It has some faults.
It's made from faults. It's a fault pie.
It has a certain air of fault to it.
It's a fault tart. There's not even a crust on top.
Yeah.
It's just a bottom crust of dookie and then faults all through it, made in it.
You know, to each his own. That's what I say.
Yeah,
No.
one man's trash is a
Yep.
It's
One
another
man's fault
trash.
is another man's win.
So here is the answer, and I will tell you the answer now. You are out. Like
Yep.
Griffin had it right. You're done. And I'm not saying like men and women can't be friends because they can, but that's not what you were in it for.
Yep.
That's not what
Not
and
at
if you
all.
were to continue to be her friend under the pretense of eventually dating her again, yeah, girls know that. Like, they're pretty smart about, if you think you're gonna Wile E. Coyote your way through this one, like she's not gonna see it coming, and then she'll fall off a cliff and you'll catch her and you'll be in love forever.
Well,
Like,
because if you think about it, like, what's your hope that she, right now, when you were really playing game, wasn't interested, but maybe if you try to fake a friendship with her and she knows that for a while, that's what's going to make her go, I'm going to think twice about this guy now that he's totally trying to worm his way into my life.
It's just gonna be hard on your heart, and you shouldn't spend your time that way. You
Dog,
need to-
fucking listen to me. Listen to the words I'm saying. This is 100% like legitimately true advice. If you're in college, don't waste a fucking second on this. Don't waste a goddamn second, because you're not always going to be in college, and then you're going to look back and say, oh my God, why did I waste as much time as I wasted?
Yep.
It keeps me up at night. Like, don't let it happen to you. Just live it as hard as you possibly can.
Don't be a statistic. Don't pine for people who are callous with your heart. If
Do
they're-
what you can now so that you don't have to look back when you're old and callous and say to people in college, move on, man. Don't waste a minute.
Yeah.
Don't turn people into projects. There are people out there. There are dozens of people out there who would like you and would like to spend time with you and want to be with you because you are who you are, and not people you don't have to like wear down. Like, don't waste your time that way. Get it. Get out. Get it in 20 does with somebody else now. You're done.
You're done.
Cross
She's
her
not
off the
interested,
list and
that's
move on
fine.
to the next
Don't
person.
fucking
Don't
list.
do that.
No,
It works.
you can have lists in. I feel like elementary school is okay to have lists of girls that you would want to I guess in elementary school, like smooch on the cheek or something. I don't think that can
Your top 10 smooch list.
Yeah, your top 10. I don't think that can go. I don't think that can leave the elementary school. And don't go to elementary school now and make one, because you're fucking 22, and that's gross.
Do you think that metaphorically, like, when we look back at college and think of all the times we didn't get it,
Yeah.
and you're like, do you think that's what, like, all of life is like that metaphorically? Like, if you're not getting it, it's so... The difference between college and the life I'm living right now, this is what I'm saying. The difference between college and the life I'm in right now is similar to the difference between... is relatable metaphorically to the difference between being alive and being dead. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an accurate metaphor?
I don't think it's.
I bet that hell is just like a series of being able to watch, like, completely watch on like television or on a giant movie screen those moments, and then like having a pop-up video that's like, bloop, if he would have done this, then this
You're
was
right.
the $1 million idea that would have changed his life, where it would have been the most amazing night of his life, but he
If you're-
didn't because he was chicken shit.
Hey,
If you'd ordered the Penang curry, Steve Buscemi would have heard, and then you'd be like, "Oh, bro, that's my fave. Let's party down."
And then he would have been best friends with Buscemi.
yeah, and that is, I guess, life's ultimate achievement. What the fuck are you talking about? I regret.
I'm just saying,
My
it's a
life
cool
is
thing that could happen.
My life is perfect right now. I have a great podcast and family and girlfriend and job, but man, me and Buscemi were buds. I would.
What if Bushi were your roommate?
Oh God, I would forsake everything to be a Buscemi bud. You fucking idiots. I'm sorry that this isn't enough. I'm sorry that you don't live satisfying lives and that you need like a trap-toothed actor to help you find satisfaction. I'm gonna tell Sydney all this shit that you said, and Teresa.
You don't have.
No,
You don't have
don't,
to.
please.
She listens.
Listen, baby, I love you. But I love Buscemi. So
I just feel like there's a Buscemi-shaped hole in my
Mm-hmm.
heart.
It was for Sydney's sake that I didn't pick like a girl or something. Like I didn't say like, and then Kathleen Turner would hear, and you would get totally crazy.
So wait,
with
in
it,
your
you know?
mind, Kathleen Turner is the female version of Steve Buscemi? Like they're equivalent?
Right? Exactly.
oh Christ. I'm so
Let's
disappointed.
go to the money
Okay.
zone. It's time. I'm ready. You're ready. Hey, Griffin. Who's this message for?
It's for Amanda AMANDA.
Hey, Travis.
Yeah.
Who's this message from?
From Cody.
It's from Cody.
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
Was there like a thing?
That would have been the traditional first anniversary gift is paper, and the internet is kind of like paper. So Cody thought that an MBMBaM blessing would be a neat way to surprise his beautiful, loving, nerdy wife while she's driving or doing her makeup. After all, she first introduced Cody to that sweet, sweet McElroy wisdom. So, congratulations to the two of you on your anniversary, on your first one.
And
May you
Amanda
have-
and Cody, I want you to know you have my blessing.
you can now pursue your relationship with the blessing.
Time to
Travis
consummate this.
Let's.
What else we got,
The
Trav?
internet is. Can we just address the fact that what we do is not paper? We're not. You realize we're not
No.
like talking into paper and then putting it on iTunes.
Well, hold on. Some of us are.
okay. Well, I've been meaning to talk to you about your recording setup for a while because it's.
It filters out on my plosives.
yeah.
Travis used to pop his peas really bad,
pop my
but then he
peas.
started shouting it into paper, making indentions, and reading it with a needle.
And it depends on like how loud I'm in, because sometimes it's 3-sheeter, sometimes it's a 4-sheeter. It just depends on the day.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Poop. Like poop.
Nope.
We got another message for Tyler Matheson. And the message is from Ben Gordon. He says, "Happy birthday to a loyal MBMBaM listener. For a present, could you creatively insult our friend Corin? He's getting a dual master's in literature and poetry. I would submit that Corin is doing a fine job of it himself."
But how can we make fun of him? He's a duel master.
Yeah.
He is a
He's fighting in both literature and
I
poetry
really-
and killing people with his words.
I don't want to get on this guy's bad side since he's so good at Yu-Gi-Oh. So that joke worked on 2 levels because he is probably pretty good at Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm just glad that he's working long and hard, like just probably 80 hours a week on these masters, so that he can work at McDonald's. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you do with literature and poetry degrees
You
besides try to impress women?
that's you took it right out of my mouth. Guys, I want to talk about the all-new Squarespace 6. This is a web design tool that lets you build your own website. It's got beautiful new templates, a drag-and-drop, super simple interface, responsive design. It's got social media connectivity. It's got cloud stuff up in it. So go to squarespace.com. Our listeners get 10% off by using offer code MYBROTHER8. That is the number 8. Don't spell it out. MyBrother8, and you can get 10%
All
off.
one word.
All one word. And you can get 10% off their web tools. And these, I mean, it looks really slick. It looks like some slick ass websites. So
And send us a link to the website you make with it so we can check it totally
go
out.
check it out. I can't confirm that griffinspacejam.com is built on Squarespace, but wink nod.
Maybe it is.
But it probably isn't. I don't want to give them a bad name because it's a nice website, but it's not Squarespace material.
I did want to mention one other thing, fundinghunter.com. It's a free social site directed to entrepreneurs and investors. The members can make profiles and pitch their ideas to other members using tools and features. Anyone could be an investor. Members make the connections and build the relationships. We provide the platform. Now, this site, fundinghunter.com, is where you can learn more. It's especially applicable for us because I think it's fair to say we've had a history of bad investments.
Oh,
you think
God,
that's
yes.
accurate?
Yeah.
I keep betting against Michael Phelps. What the fuck am I thinking?
That's not an investment. I did want to talk to you about that. That's
no, it's an
gambling.
investment. No, it's an investment in winning.
I invested
That's
I
gambling.
invested in Family Circus, the
Right.
comic strip, and But here's the problem: the return on that investment, it has been 0 because I don't think that's a thing that you can invest in. And I did invest in it. I filed the investment papers from the Rite Aid parking lot from the guy. From that one guy. So like,
If it makes you feel any better, at least it's just a 0 return. I've been losing money on Marmaduke for years.
Yeah.
that guy though, he's got to be making a killing on the like he's always out there. He's been out there for like 20 years it seems like, and
Yeah. I actually I got a little more specific. I'm more of a risky investor. I short sold Beetle Bailey.
oh, that's a real blue chip there.
good call.
Yeah.
He's a blue chip. That's one of your classic performers. You know, it mitigates the risk, I think. I tried to short sell Jeffy, but then the cops showed
Yeah,
up. So I don't
it's
know
hard. That's
exactly.
a tricky. There's a lot of copyright that goes into that. A lot of trafficking. It's
Sticky
it's
wicket.
a sticky little wicket. I got into BC like really hardcore, but all the
Well, that's a
all the
mistake.
religious undertones really put off all my potential buyers. So I'm not
Right.
gonna fall for that one again. Hey, Lockhorns.
Hey, if you could just turn a profit in this quarter fiscally, please. Thank you. Can you stop with the fighting and maybe focus on black ink for
Yeah.
once? If you could do that.
You're worse, Lockhorns. Just get a fucking divorce. You're not happy together.
Split the stocks. I'll take the shares of the lady and you take the shares of the guy. And we can just focus on profitability. Maybe you meet somebody nice. You're wasting your lives, Lockhorns. You're wasting your lives. Hey, my coworker's trying to get me to play Magic, the card game. But I don't think my street cred can handle it. Got any suggestions? That's from Too Cool for Cards.
You don't have any street cred.
Yeah, well, first off, guaranteed, if you listen to this podcast, you ain't got no cred. I'm sorry.
You don't have
I
street.
love,
You're not
I love
straight.
you, listeners, but come on, you ain't hard. But also, more importantly,
You don't know what it's like on the inside.
more importantly, fuck your street cred because like that shit's gonna keep you from doing all kinds of cool stuff that you would otherwise miss out on, like playing Magic. And by cool stuff, I don't mean in the traditional sense where anybody would ever look at you and say, "Oh, that's a desirable sexual object." But you'll probably have fun.
Griffin, you don't think ability to play Magic is a trait that people look for in a sexual partner?
I don't think anybody has ever perused somebody's swamp deck and gone, "This person is fuckable." Highly fuckable.
Now, I'm going to disagree, because I've been to PAX.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think that's probably happening. I do want to, if I had someone who was trying to get me to play Magic, I would probably do it. My problem is that I'm a 31-year-old man. I live in my house. And I mean
Isn't that better than
in,
living
like,
outside your house?
I mean that in the hermetically sealed sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Justin,
I live in my home.
Justin is sealed for freshness inside of his house.
Right. That's how I keep my cherubic look.
He's-
Is I don't let myself get exposed to the elements.
His front door is tamper-proof, so...
Yeah.
Um,
No one's getting in here.
Real talk, if I had, the only reason I'm not playing, super nerdy-ass board games in Austin is just because I haven't met a group of people to play those with yet. You can't be afraid of... This...
Here
Here's
come
the
emails.
thing. I've realized recently that it's a lot like trying to find what I imagine trying to find a drug dealer or buying or selling drugs. There's a lot of innuendo and raised eyebrows when it comes to D&D. A new guy just started working at the theater, and we were talking about video games, and Dragon Age came up, and somehow that led to this have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? And it was I mean, I may have.
I remember
Have you?
when we were trying to find out if our group of friends in Huntington would be interested in playing the new D&D when this was a few years back, and this was a conversation. It was our cool going out drinking buddy group of friends that I don't think we'd ever even played Risk with or anything like that. Trying to broach that subject with them is two fucking intelligence agency officers trying to drop secret codes at each other. Hey, have you ever watched Lord of the Rings? Do you like that swords and shit?
Yeah,
Hey,
what's that
hey,
all
just
about, huh?
In Willow, goblins, and just hey, do you like Candyland and
Sorry, operation or anything?
what if we?
Can you imagine a world in which someone just knocked on a door and was just I love Dungeons and Dragons and I think you do too. Let's do this. Oh, okay. Oh,
Where are you going?
Suddenly it's out here in the light of day. Oh, it's a lot more attractive than I would have thought.
Here's what's up. And I used to feel this nerd shame in a big way. And even when I was writing about games professionally, I would be embarrassed to tell people what I did because I was in college and I cared about what other people thought about me. But if you want to play Magic the Gathering, if you want to get super into it, just fucking do it. If you want to do something and it's healthy, then just do it and don't let your so-called street cred, which isn't a real thing that exists. Everybody's too busy giving a shit about whether or not people think what they're doing is nerdy to actually do it to other people. So just fucking.
But can I? But okay, I see your point. Like, I know what you're saying, and I do think anybody can get hung up on what outside perception. But at some point, your inner perception comes into play too. I mean, I think it's legitimate to say that you don't want to see. That's not the kind of person that you want to be. You don't see yourself as the sort of person who plays Magic the Gathering. Like, that's not your
But that is-
But they haven't tried it yet.
They haven't. First off, they haven't tried it yet. But second off, it's fucking stupid to define yourself that when you play, like if you play Magic the Gathering, if you start playing it, you are not all of a sudden the guy who plays Magic the Gathering. And if you do think of yourself that way, then you need to
literally defined. Yes, you're incorrect.
Okay, but
go on.
You know what I mean. You're not like, hey, I'm the Magic guy. Like, people don't introduce you at parties.
How many times do you think you need to get spotted by babes playing Magic the Gathering before that particular image
You're
sticks?
goofing.
Answer
you
one.
are goofing.
One.
You are goofing right now. But this is like the actual thing that this person is worried about. Just fucking own it. Just if you.
It's 2012. It's not 1995 where you're gonna get beat up.
Yeah,
For
nobody's
fucking
gonna
playing
like.
Magic the
A
Gathering.
nerd is not gonna, or a bully's not gonna come and like drop a big pile of sand in front of you and then proceed to kick it all over your face in cards. Like, that scenario, by the way, did not take place on a beach. That's why they had to bring their own sand to kick on you.
Okay. They're not gonna open a bag of sand and dump it at your feet and then wait for the whole thing to empty out and then. Kick
I
it at
swear
you.
to God, if you own it, like you are never, ever, ever gonna have an issue with this.
When John Locke was playing board games with his friend across the phone, is that when you thought John Locke ruled? Or did you think John Locke ruled when he went to an island and brought a box of knives and started getting it? That's like, you don't ever see him
And
like
then
on
he
the
carved
island.
his own chess set.
Like, yeah,
With
well,
those
that's
knives, Justin.
Okay,
With those
correct.
knives.
Play backgammon
Accurate.
on the beach with Walt, and he.
they're just
Whoa.
trying to cling to civilization at that point. That's different.
If he had Sid Meier's
I'm
Civilization on the island, he would have put his knives down and said, "Oh, I think I'm gonna get really good at this." Okay.
And maybe
But
there's
there's
a
lots of-
chance that you start playing Magic Gathering with your friend, and then the writers realize that he's going nowhere, so they write him off the show until like season 6, and then they bring him back.
Yeah.
There's lots of things I haven't tried that I don't think that I don't think are cool, so I don't want to do them.
Like what?
Like, we just had a 10-minute goof about how we're not going to take swing dancing.
But that's
classes
different
we
because
don't want to be those
when
people.
if I got like super into Magic and I went out to like a park or something and had an intense Magic the Gathering match, I wouldn't be doing it so other people would look at me. Quite the opposite, actually. But if I went to the park and started swing dancing, I might as well be like. I might as well put up signs and fucking charge admission, because I want people.
But would you wear a cloak? That's what I keep coming back to. Is my question. Would you wear a cloak?
This is you're bordering on hate speech right now, so watch
You're
it.
being very mean to Magic the
Thin
Gathering.
ice.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Like, I play, like, this isn't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, there are things that you don't have to feel peer pressure to be nerdier than you are. That's
No.
what
You
I'm
also don't
saying.
need to feel peer pressure to not try
That's what I'm saying. Everything that you are worried about, I swear to you, because this person's not going to go around like throwing magic cards in everyone's face like I'm the king of all magic. This like that's
Unless it turns out he is the
If
king
it
of
turns
all
out you're the king of all
that's been
magic-
prophesized about for
then
centuries.
go.
There is a king of
go,
right. He is coming.
Make it rain.
Praise be his
Go
name.
make it rain.
Right.
But that's not what this person's doing. This person is worried about outside scrutiny, that it doesn't fucking exist. I swear to you, it doesn't exist.
So let's boil it down. This is what I think we're saying. Stop, take a second, close your eyes, don't worry about anyone else. If you truly don't want to play because you're not interested in doing it, fine. Then, like, you say, you know what, I've got enough stuff going on, I'm not interested in it, great. But if your only hesitancy to not do it is that you're afraid of being judged by other people, try it.
Yeah.
But do remember that you are judged by other
You aren't
people
being
all the
judged
time.
by other people all the time, and if you are, fuck those people. Like, that's gonna have zero.
Because I guarantee they do something that they're embarrassed
Yeah,
about.
if you live your whole life like just
Maybe they're playing Roker poker at
If
home.
you're
constantly, every day.
if you want to play Roker poker in public, I think you should be able to. I'm trying to get those laws passed through Congress. That's a tough putt though.
Public masturbation, it's a big thing with
Yeah.
these people.
Um,
What is your hang up? Old man.
prudes. It's the 60s. Like, don't
It's not.
It makes me sad for people who have to keep their freak on a leash, you know?
Griffin's not afraid to tell everyone about his Pokemon days.
Yeah,
By which I mean
current.
the present.
Yeah.
Now, this day, he's telling the
This
person
day
about
is
the
one of
day
those
that he is
Pokemon
in.
days.
If you, I'm not saying go around and write songs about Magic the Gathering and then sing them to people. That's not what I'm saying, because then it's a fetish. But don't be afraid to do it just because somebody walking by might tweet about it. Like, fuck it, man. It's life is way too short.
What if Steve Buscemi plays Magic and you don't get to be friends with Steve Buscemi because he wants to play Magic the Gathering with you and you're afraid to try it?
If you're not embarrassed about it, there's nothing anybody can do that's going to that can hurt you, right? Like you're doing it, you're owning it, you're living it. That's great. What I'm saying is, if you're embarrassed about it, like it doesn't jive with your own sense of self, then you shouldn't feel like you have to do it. Like it shouldn't, like it's okay to think that things aren't for you or they're not how
Yes.
you want to conduct yourself, I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying everyone should watch the hit Jim Carrey movie Yes Man.
Yes.
Don't watch the
What?
Yes Man.
Yes.
Don't watch
yes.
Yes
Watch
Man.
the Yes Man. Say yes.
Okay.
Because it's the sequel to Liar Liar, which everyone loved.
Why didn't they just call it that?
This is literally,
Like, why
we
did you
had
have
this
to
conversation on the last podcast, and I edited it out.
Really?
Yes.
About
I
Yes Man?
swear to God.
I won't have it
Okay.
again. I feel like I maybe didn't make my.
I
don't wanna
understand
come
what
off
you're
as
saying, but there is-
hypocritical because I do review video games for a living. But like, there are levels of being nerdy that I can't get in. I'm overweight. Like I've got some strikes again. I'm pasty. I've got some strikes against me. There are levels of nerddom
Okay,
that I
here's the thing.
cannot
I've played Magic.
cannot embrace as a rule.
I played
right?
Magic a couple times in high school. Like, sat down, had somebody walk me through it, teach me how to play it, played a game or two. Wasn't for me. Like, it wasn't something I picked up on and I've continued on to this day. But, like, leading up to it, it was my friend Eric, and he kept saying, like, oh, come on, it's really great. And I didn't want to play it because it was, quote, uncool.
Yeah.
And then I played it and was like, oh, I could see where someone would totally get into this. But this is not for me. This is not
But
something
you're-
I'm going to dedicate my life to.
But like, okay, here's an example. SCA guys, right? Mm-hmm. Society of Creative Recognition. They're in the park. They've got lances. They've got armor, and they're morphing. I think is what it is.
They're more.
morphing.
They're
They're
animorphs.
more.
Go
They're
on.
more
They're
from
anamorphing.
working, is what they're doing.
Do I think that would be fun to do for an afternoon? Of course
yeah.
I do. But I also know like you can't unring that
That's
bell.
but that's a bad example because that is tantamount to medieval swing dancing.
Yeah,
basically
that's also
yes,
true.
right? You could do it on your lawn.
Nobody
and
does
you're not.
Magic the Gathering as performance art.
If
So if someone can figure that out, I will kickstart it.
if there's a thing, if you play, what I'm saying though is if this person plays Magic and really likes it and it makes him happy to play it, like don't feel. If you just own it, then you're not going to feel embarrassed about it. If you don't let it define yourself, if you just say, yeah, it's a thing I do, whatever, like it's fun. I enjoy doing
that
it.
is the thing. That is the key, Griffin. You're right, and that is the salient point that I want to get across. If you're not embarrassed about it, then don't worry about it. But
I'm saying that's a switch.
No, but I think you're using the word embarrassed where you should say if you don't like it, if you don't enjoy
That's
it.
not
if
what we're
it's
saying.
not
That's
your
not what we're
bag.
saying at all. What I'm saying is
No.
the embarrassment in your brain, and I swear to God, this is true. It's a switch, and you can flip it. You can flip that switch from like, I used to be embarrassed to like, fucking ride the bus in Chicago and like play my Nintendo DS. Like I would not do that because I didn't like people watching me play video games. But like I flipped that switch eventually and I realized that this is a thing I want to do on here. Like it's a great way to pass the time. I'm going to do it. And then it seriously is as easy as that. We spent a long time on this question, but I think I don't know. I like it's a thing that I it comes up like really really frequently
but
for
you're
me.
but like yes, I get your point. Like I understand what you're saying, but that level of like it's not as easy as you're making it seem because that level of social recalibration, deciding that something is appropriate socially, like just deciding it for
It doesn't matter
yourself.
if it's appropriate.
That doesn't always fly, like, because you still do live in a society. Like, it's the same reason I think sweatpants are comfortable, but I'm not wearing them every day because that's not
What
like,
I'm saying is, if you wear those sweatpants on a bus and fucking 55 people on that bus see you and all say, "Look at this fucking goon in his sweatpants," and then they go home to their families at night, they are not going to talk about your goddamn sweatpants. They're not going to remember that you exist. You're dead to them. That's listen, like, this is not a message of sunshine and flowers. Like, you are so fucking insignificant that maybe 10 people are going to remember you after you die. And those 10 people sure as fuck aren't going to remember that you played Magic cards. I guarantee it.
So good luck.
Like, and
So
life is
best
meaningless.
of
And life
luck.
is meaningless, I guess. And, like, you're super insignificant and you're probably not going to be famous. If you get famous, then, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be playing Magic cards. But Steve Buscemi, if you're listening, and I hope that you are, probably put them down.
or maybe you should play Magic
Maybe you
cards.
should. You could lead the fucking revolution like Vin Diesel when he's like, "Yeah, I play D&D." Like, he fucking started the movement and he made it easier for the rest of us. And thank you, Vin Diesel. But, like, seriously, nobody gives a shit. Zero people give a shit. There are zero shits to be given.
Unless you wear sweatpants every day.
No, even then.
No, Griffin, I'm sorry. I have to stand
It's
my ground on
it's
this
so
one.
extreme that I could walk around Austin with 10 fake dicks attached to my body. And I could run around and I could be the fun guy who runs into people and slaps them with his fake dicks as he jogs down the street. I could ride a fucking Jazzy and I could use a giant fake dick as a lance and I could run it into people. I could beat someone to death in the street with a fake dick, and in a year and a half, nobody would remember me. This is, like, you think I'm joking, but I'm being 100% serious. I could be the fake dick murderer, and I would not be remembered.
But what I'm saying is that, yes, while you may be technically correct, that behavior becomes your defining aspect. Nobody's going to say, man, the fake dick murderer has gray hair. It's just not going to be something they know.
You're right, but what I'm saying is in 10 years, they're going to be at dinner, and someone's going to say, "Do you remember the fake dick murderer?" And the other person's going to say, "No, I don't. I don't remember
I don't.
what my wife looks like, and I've been away from my house for 6 hours." I'm not joking. These are things that I seriously think about when I think about whether or not I should do this thing in public. You make such a small impact in the world that, like, nobody's gonna give a shit. Just play Magic cards. Everybody play Magic cards. This podcast is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast. They are paying us exclusively in energy. So we did like 3 questions this week because of this question, but.
I know, but I feel I'll be honest with you. I feel like I feel like this is one of the few times where the differences in our age is dictating this, like dictating these answers. Because, I mean, I do think it matters what people like. I do think it's okay to care about what people think about you.
Now let me weigh in because you guys have been arguing for like 20 minutes.
Thank you.
It's just occurred to me that, like, I feel this same way, but about things in the reverse, like joining a fantasy football league. Like, if someone was like, play my D&D game, I'm like, okay, totally cool. But if somebody was like, play in my fantasy baseball, fantasy, football, March Madness thing, I would go, oh, I'm gonna look stupid.
I gotta tell you,
like,
Chuck,
I'm gonna do this.
I'm
thing.
right there with, like, I have the same. My friend Justin Minsker has asked me, I think, to be on 2 different leagues of, like, a bowling league and a kickball league, and, like, both times I was like, no, that's not for me. Just because, like, I would kick the ball and it would hit a child, and then I would be embarrassed. That's the same thing. You're right. Like, I've come to terms with the kind of person that I am, and that person is kind of nerdy and enjoys watching sports. I'm embarrassed to try and cross over.
So
this is what I'm saying. Travis is exactly right. This is what I'm saying. This guy has come to terms with the person that he is, and I think it's okay to come to terms with yourself being a person who wouldn't play a fantasy card game.
But I disagree because I think you should at least try. I don't think you can.
Did you try kickball?
Yeah, when I was fucking 9 years old. I have no pleasant memories from the experience.
I'm just saying that I think it's really easy to say, live like you're dying, and it doesn't matter what other people think, and you're insignificant, and they won't care, until you're actually in that moment where you're playing Magic the Gathering, and somebody walks by and snickers behind their hand, and suddenly you feel like a tiny, insignificant.
But if you
person.
let that kind of shit
Right
bother
then.
you, then your life is going to be just miserable.
No. I'm not saying that you should let it bother you. I'm saying that as much as I would love it to be a switch that flips, it's not. Like, you've got to convince yourself, and it's a constant thing
But I
to
still
remind
don't-
yourself not to care what other people think.
But I still don't think that's not even what I'm talking. Like, if somebody wants to judge like that, like somebody wants to get a kick because their personal like adjudication of what's cool doesn't grok with yours, like that's like fuck that guy. I'm with Griffin on that. Like I think screw them. I'm just saying that it's okay to have a series of guidelines for yourself in the way in which you want to
yes, but I also
comport
think that
yourself
you
in
can
public.
completely rob yourself of a positive
That's- yeah.
experience. I remember going to the Bob Dylan concert with you, Justin, and sitting there, and like everybody else is on their feet and dancing, and me going, this isn't my usual way of enjoying a concert, and I'm not that big into Bob Dylan. And you looked at me and said, "You're never going to see Bob Dylan in concert again. You should get up and enjoy this." And I did, and ended up having a great time, in spite of myself, because I just let myself do it.
Yeah.
And didn't worry about anything or try to like rob myself of a positive.
The problem with
experience.
the problem with creating your self identity, like you're talking about, Justin, and knowing the kind of person that you are and using those as guidelines is that's fine, and that's a great way to like live your life with that guiding light. But the very first time that keeps you from doing something awesome that would become a new defining like thing in your life, it's all fucking forfeit. It's all for naught.
That's accurate.
I'm just like.
I see where you're coming from.
One of my friends invited me to go play golf, and it's like I've never played before. I'm not an athletic person. I knew I was gonna fucking humiliate myself because that is a game that requires both physical prowess and accuracy. And I was embarrassed, and I was embarrassed like my first few holes because I shot it and I hit a child. It's a big problem for me.
It's a big theme.
But then like I had a great time, and now I want to go play it more. Like do as much new shit as you possibly can, because that's the only way that you can know whether or not you're gonna like it. YOLO,
You had some really good advice there, and then you completely ruined it.
Rolos.
Okay,
Frodo.
there it is.
We've been recording for about 6 hours.
I feel
Well,
bad
I
because I feel like we didn't.
Last question.
I feel like we didn't bring any goofs.
No, I think
You got
we
maybe-
got some goofs in there, but I think we got some real like we got that advice that like is broad. I feel like Delilah right now.
Can I I'll tell you what's fucking with
Okay.
me, and maybe this will help to inform my. I have like in my head ideas of people who I think are cool, right? Like, oh man, that's a cool person. That's the kind of person I'd like to be.
Okay.
And there are some parts of all culture, not just nerd culture, but anything, watching bad TV, whatever, like that I think to myself, I get the thought of like, man, that person would never do this. And like
But-
that's but like and that's the thought that I have. Like, I think that person's cool, and I think that person lives like the sort of life that I would like to have or be perceived of having. And then, but there's no way that they would be caught dead doing
we're
this thing.
114 episodes in, and from going over Yahoo Answers and everything that people have asked is, you don't think that person that you think is infallibly cool goes home and does something
That's what I'm
either
saying, like-
uncool or just super like
Do-
weird?
Straight real talk. Do you think I'm cool, Justin? Do you think
Yeah, I
I'm a
think you're
cool
cool.
person?
I think you're a cool dude.
Okay. When I was 15, I spent probably $800 on Pokemon cards. Like, you can't, because if everybody else is thinking like that, and I think a majority of the people are, then they're not like airing out their secrets. There's no way to really know like what a person is like until you like marry them. That's basically it. Like, there's no way of knowing what kind of shit a person is into if they are also living their life like embarrassed of the things that make them happy. So
Inspirational advice.
Yeah.
So YOLO.
So
In short, YOLO.
Seriously.
YOLO. I think you should but do play it in private though, because it may not work for you.
You should also play it in private because it's not really that fun to watch.
It's like the most boring game ever.
That's like the
Pokemon,
most boring thing.
Pokemon cards though. Oh,
Oh, no,
that,
that shit gets intense.
that game has
At
got.
least half the cards are racist, so you don't want to say them out loud.
You know
Yeah,
what's
that's
great?
true.
Strip Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
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 You know what I like is strip out Roker. Strip Roker poker. Strip something.
How
Is
are
that
you?
all
How,
of the
can I
shit?
ask how you're playing Poker Roker without it being stripped?
I actually play reverse Roker poker where like I put on more clothes.
Or Al Roker masturbates while watching you do the things that you do.
I just have him give me like some tips about the weather, you know?
He wants to know what's going on your neck of your penis.
And the answer is a small tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a small tie down there. I won that hand. Now you have to tell me what's going on in Des Moines weather-wise, but do it slow.
Do it slow. I like
Take it slow for me,
Hey, why
Al.
don't you put a few more pounds on?
Hey, Al. Wait, now we can't get into creepy.
No, I'm
voice,
just
guys.
saying I liked it better when there was more Al to jerk off to.
Okay.
I've
So
got
this has been-
jerkable Roker for miles.
This has been My Brother, and Me. Of course, it's a comedy advice show, as you've certainly gathered over the past 20
There
minutes.
was a nice parabola of like helpfulness there. We came
Yeah.
down nicely. This is
Yeah.
this is what a literarist would call the descending action.
Welcome to the denouement of our advice comedy podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Number one, that's the best thing you guys do for us is listen to the show. We really appreciate it. But thank you so much for everybody tweeting about the show. Thank you to Corinne, there we go, Corinne, John Weeble, Heron Bird, Kevin Chai, Pokedex Swain, Sabe Thin, GR, man, that's a good one. GR, Mount Mosher, Hallways, spelled in a crazy way that I love, and DC Badger. Thank you so much to everybody tweeting about the show.
Thanks, guys. I want to thank John Roderick and the Long Winters for the use of our theme song "It's a Departure" off the album "Putting the Days to Bed," which you should be listening to. You should also listen to the other Long Winters albums. I listen to it. I've been flying around a lot lately. I've been listening to the whole discography. So get up on that.
You should also be listening to all the other Max Fun podcasts, Jordan Jesse Go, Throwing Shade, all of them. And I've been on a big kick of audiobooks this summer. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't listened to the audiobook version of John Hodgman's books, More Information Than You Require in the Areas of My Expertise, I don't know if that is out on audiobook yet. But if you get a chance, make sure you listen to them. They're just wonderful. They're great.
Yeah. Yep. So here we got a final Yahoo answer that I'm going to read to everybody right now.
Daddy's ready.
This final Yahoo answer was sent in by Christian. Thank you, Christian. It's by Yahoo Answers user George, who asks, "How can I make my pennies longer?"
What? I assume there's some misspelling in there.
Yeah.
I'm Justin McElroy.
I'm Travis McElroy.
I'm Griffin McElroy.
This has been My Brother, and Me. Kiss your dad. Square on the lips.
Keep your heart, 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Hey, keep your heart, 3 stacks. Keep your heart. Man, these girls are smart, 3 stacks. These girls are smart. Play your part.